Okay, I've stripped the wire up there. I've got to turn the breaker back on, and second one from the bottom. Got that on. I've got some wire testers here, and I always like to take my wire tester and make sure it works. I don't use it very often, and I got it crammed down in my nail bag. And so I first off want to make sure that it's working, right? Plugging that in, and the little orange light, when I wiggle it, the orange light is on. Okay, so I know the tester's working. Okay, so now I can get up there. I get up there, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it or not. We'll see. We'll see. Now that should be hot. Okay. I put it to hot, the black and the ground. You see the orange lights on. The neutral, I think you just have to do that, okay? Or if I press the white and the black, and the orange light goes on. Voila! Okay? Isn't that pretty cool? That I've got everything set up now for the ceiling fan. I've got to make sure, I've always got to make sure to turn it off now, because like I say, I don't normally do a ceiling fan this way. This is the first one actually without having an actual wall switch to turn the power on and off. This switch, as you remember, turns on the lights by the bed. Okay, and I didn't want to have to go through all the hassle. Years ago, I would take this light switch out, take the box out, put a cut-in box in there, put a 2-gang ring in there, leave it open so I can fish a wire, go up in the attic, drill a hole, fish the wire down, take it over to your ceiling fan location, wire, and then put a 2-gang cut-in box in there, put this switch in, put a new switch in for the power for the ceiling fan, and all that kind of stuff. And then the ceiling fan power on off, even with the handheld remote. The handheld remote though only works when you have the ceiling fan power turned on, and you don't have to do that with this type of ceiling fan. Any type of new ceiling fan that has the fan control and it has the remote, you only have to have power up to the ceiling fan. And that's what we got. And I couldn't do it any other way because we're on the ground floor and there's a second floor above this. There's really not any attic I could access into there, and I've showed you the entire process on how I got that up, how I use the power. I'm tapping in on the smoke alarm, going over to the ceiling fan. Okay, and that's going to work. Now I've got the power off, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to vacuum out here in the hallway. I'm going to vacuum this probably before I get going. I'm going to put some of my stuff away and get this all kind of cleaned up somewhat so that I can tackle the next portion of the project. The next portion of the project is finally getting able to install this ceiling fan. This one happens to be from Fanimation. It's a 52-inch ceiling fan, and they have different ones. This has a light kit, and they have different ones at the store. You can get 48-inch, you can get 50-inch, 54-inch, 60-inch, 72-inch. They got all kinds of stuff. And you can get a 3-blade one. This one happens to be a 5-blade. I've seen them up 9 blades. You know, like those big ones you see at Costco? I put one up, kind of mimicked that at a condo just recently, and I think it had 9 blades. That was pretty cool. But in in a bedroom like this, it's kind of overdone. You don't need, you know, a bedroom this big, you don't need a big old huge one. If I had a big huge one like that, see this room here? I know it's kind of dark because we've got the lights off, but we could put a big huge ceiling fan right here, one without too long of an extension, and you could put a 9-blade one in here. See how big this room is, and then it would make sense. But I wouldn't want to put a big huge whopping one in a regular sized bedroom. If you got a huge master bedroom with an adjoining little suite and a bigger room than this, maybe you could get by with that. And even in bathrooms, you get a 3-blade one, you can get a 5-blade. I put in a 5-blade and it was a 32-inch one, I think, from before, and it worked out perfect. So, you know, go through this. That's why I'm going through this whole thing, so that you can watch video clips after segment, a whole series. And I've got other any ceiling fans that I've ever worked on that I've made videos of, I posted them onto my channel. So fixing wobbly ceiling fans, I show you how to fix that. If you got a pull chain and the pull chain breaks and it's on low speed, I'll show you how to fix that to where you don't need a new pull chain, and or you have an old pull chain, and I'll show you how to fix your ceiling fan, and all kinds of things having to do with ceiling fans. Installing brand new ones from scratch, cutting walls open, patching drywall, and putting in a big, huge, longer light switch area. I did a bedroom or a bathroom. It had 2 switches in there, and then I took that out, put a 3-gang switch, and I had to cut the drywall out because there was no attic above. And I had to cut a hole up in the wall. I had to cut a hole in the ceiling. Then I fished strategically. No, actually, I cut a square hole where the drywall went, and then I installed a pancake box. I installed the backing for sheetrock. I put sheetrock back up in there and on the wall, and patched that, and made videos of the whole thing. And so you'll learn all kinds of different things. And if you see all that stuff, then you can see, hey, if VideoJoe can do it, hey, he goes through everything step by step, so I don't have to question anything. And if he can do it, I can do it. That's what my videos are about, okay? So enough of that. Next portion of the project, if you want to continue watching it, is going to be how to actually install the ceiling fan to your ceiling fan box. And I would also stress, if you have a light fixture up in your room and it's all wired and you got a light switch, let's say you have 2 light switches here. One light switch goes up to light fixture, one other light switch goes to next to your bed, okay? And you've got to switch to light fixture. You take the light fixture down. Can you install a ceiling fan there? Well, you have to look at the box. And you have to make a determination. Is that box big enough? Or not big enough, but is that box strong enough to hold the weight of your ceiling fan? If you have a little plastic box up there, and if it's only hung off of 2 nails on a plastic box, kind of like how this plastic box was, I would not recommend trying to install the ceiling fan on that, because first off, your ceiling fan mounting housing bracket that goes up to your box is only going to be screwed up into plastic threads up in a plastic box, plus the plastic box is only attached to one side of a floor joist or a ceiling joist, and your ceiling fan could hang down on one side, and over time with the ceiling fan going around and around, after time those mounting screws going up into that plastic box might pull out of there, you know what I mean? And down the ceiling fan's going to come, and whatever's down below the ceiling fan, look out. I wouldn't want to be the person underneath there, okay? So lots of things to make a determination, but once we're up to this point, the ceiling fan is going to go in. So if you want to watch those, stick around and watch that whole other new video series on how to install the ceiling fan. I have a pretty good idea what this video series is going to be about. Installing a ceiling fan? Yes, if you guessed that, you're right. I'm going to be installing this particular ceiling fan up there. It has a handheld fan control remote, and I'm going to show you how to install that. Okay? If you want to watch that, that's what this video series is all about.